friends and neighbors. Welcome in the light, where laughter's the answer and hearts are shining bright. With calloused hands and wits, so razor sharp, let's praise a place where love ignites the spark. In the field of dreams where sweat and hope combine, we'll raise our voices high and toast to the divine. Be your best and let your spirit always rise. Give thanks for every moment under sunny skies. Be the sunny side of someone else's life. Share your light and joy through struggle and strife. Keep your heart open and your soul always bright. Together we will share this sunny side life. Be the sunny side of someone else's life. Share your light and joy through struggle and strife. Keep your heart open and your soul always bright. Together we will share this sunny side life.
Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome to Sunnyside. Well, it's official. Now we are starting to get into that time of year where the days actually get shorter for a while. Yeah, we've already passed that high point, and summer is officially here. It's been in the 90s, upper 90s here in Iowa the last couple of days. Rainy before that, 3 inches plus. It's just a lot of rain. There's water in the fields. The problem in June, it seems, around this time of year in this part of the country. But then, it gets to be 90 degrees and 30-mile-an-hour winds, and it dries out pretty quick, although there is still some water in the fields. But it's not a farm report, although it sort of might turn into a farm report. Why? Why, my friends? Dun, 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 dun. Because I can buy a cowboy hat. I have a cowboy hat. I have cowboy hats already, but I bought one for Father's Day for myself, which arrived after Father's Day, and a cheaper Stetson, that's for sure, and straw. It's nice. I like it. Everybody looks good in a hat, especially if you have a big round face like I do. Why did I buy a cowboy hat? Because I'm a cowboy. I'm a cowboy, baby. I finally did it. I got some cows. I got steers. I'm on my way to becoming a cattle baron. Baron of cattle here at Sunnyside with 10 steers. 10 512-pound steers. Jersey Charolais cross. Beautiful, just beautiful looking steers. Very friendly, docile. They all got their own little individual haircuts. Easy to move around. They're not spooky, and they seem to like their new environment. I got those on Tuesday. Went down to Waverly Sales Company. That's a sale barn in Waverly, Iowa. Bought some steers there. Now, they came through in a group of 20. Yeah. And I was looking at them. Like, that's the ones that I thought that I wanted. And I've been to a couple of sales before. Didn't buy anything, as you well know. But this time I was determined to get them. Now, when they brought all 20 of these in, I didn't want 20. I don't think I am ready for 20 steers. As far as customers, you're the customers. If you want steers, if you want beef, we'll talk about that in just a second here. But I didn't think I had enough to do all that. So 10 was a good place to start, and 10 is just the right number for us. So I'll be selling 9, maybe 9.5 of those, because obviously we will be filling our freezer. That will happen next March, is my guess. And so in that late February, March time frame is when these steers will go to they'll go to the butcher. They don't listen to this podcast, Well, they should. They'd be wise. But so we'd put orders in before that, I suppose. We'll figure that out, and I'll let you know how you can do that. If you want good quality, beautiful beef, fill your freezer and make a go of it, then I'm going to be your guy. I'm going to be your guy. I'm going to work on being that cattle baron that you can rely on for your personal Sunnyside Farms meat. So it's all beginning now. It's a slow process, big plans, lots of labor. But let me finish telling you the story about Waverly Sales Company. First of all, it's a beautiful sales barn, if there is such a thing. It's very well organized. They start on time, looks great. It's just a nice place. And I felt comfortable going back there, got my number, and asked a couple of questions, called down before I went that day, made sure that what they had on the pre-sale stuff was actually coming. It was. And so drove down there. I knew I didn't have to be there as early as I was the last time. So pretty much just got there, sat down, went through some of the different lots that came through. And when these 20 came across, I was like nervous now because I'm like, I'm going to get 10. So immediately I'm like, can we split them? Can we split these 20 into 10? And I'm surrounded by older guys that hang out at the sales barn quite a bit. Let's call them sales barn regulars. If the sales barn were Cheers, this would be Cliff and Norm and Frazier and Sam and Coach. They'd all be there. And these were the regulars here at the sale barn. And thank God they were there because I did this on purpose. It's not my first auction. I love auctions. I think I do a good job at auctions, but it was my first livestock auction where I'm going to buy something. And I'm not a farmer. I'm not a rancher. I'm not a cattle baron, not yet. But I didn't have cows, so I didn't wear a cowboy hat, although I desperately really wanted to. And it was hot. It was way hot. So I wore shorts and sort of a Hawaiian shirt. So I completely stuck out like a sore thumb. And I did that on purpose because I wanted the auctioneer to pay attention that I was bidding and I was going to win this bid. But also, I needed to make it clear to the people that were there in the audience, also the other bidders, that I was just a new guy. I had my Army National Guard hat on. It says Iowa Army National Guard. So they knew I was a vet. Had my Hawaiian shirt on. And and I made had no pretense. I was talking to the guys beside me. I'm like, yeah, it's my first time. I've never done this before. I'm hoping to buy about 10 steers. And we'll see. And they're just super friendly. They actually do like to see people get into their business, and it's an exciting time for them too. And you never know who's selling and who's buying. And sometimes they're doing both. But the guys sitting around me heard me say, "Can we split it?" Because I got nervous because if I start bidding on this, then all of a sudden I'm buying 20. And so, but I didn't know how to do that. And so they shouted out for me to the auctioneer, like, "Hey! Can we? He wants to split. He wants to go to the gate. Can we split at the gate?" I don't even know what that means. I'm not even sure I'm saying it right. And the auctioneer was like caught off guard, and he's like, "Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine. No, how many do you want?" And I said 10. And then they repeated it. So like they said, "He wants 10." Now everybody in the sale barn now knows that the idiot in the Hawaiian shirt with the Army National Guard baseball cap is going to buy some steers. And that could be good or bad. Because they'd be like, well, he's obviously going to get it, and he's obviously a greenhorn, so we can run this guy up. Or people can say, what kind of a maniac wears a Hawaiian shirt to a sale barn? This guy must be, he's going to go as high as he needs to go. And I didn't have to because I won the bid. They came in a couple $100 less than I was willing to have to go to, which was kind of less than the average that day and the sales that I'd been to prior. So I felt like I got a good deal. The steers are beautiful. I mean, they're just they're kind of because they're the Jersey Charolais mix. They're kind of a darker off-white color, and they just got a little bit of brown, tinge to them as well. It's just beautiful. They just are big eyes and healthy, and very, very pleased. And all 20 of them look like that. So my first 10 then that I bought, they send them back through, and those go into my lot where then I can, figure out how to transport them home, and they get weighed again, and they actually came in a pound lighter than the next average weight of 10. And they went for, what the heck did they go for? It went for like $12 or $15 more per hundredweight, that second group of 10. So the old guys around me were like slapping me on the back, and they say, hey, you got the deal of the day. That's a good looking group of cows right there. And, all that stuff. And I did get the deal of the day, and I felt really good about it. And apparently what had happened is people figured that I was going to go as high as I needed to. So they thought they would wait till the second group, and then they would get a better deal. But au contraire, don't mess with the cattle baron, okay? I can't believe it's beginner's luck. So really worked out really well. And then I had no way to haul them back. I don't have a trailer. So I said, well, I don't have a trailer. I'll have to find somebody to haul them back. And one guy to my right, he's like, I'll sell you the trailer. I was like, I didn't bring the right vehicle to tow it. And he goes, I'll sell you the whole unit. Like he was going to sell me his truck and his trailer. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to probably need to rent somebody. Fortunately, the guy sitting to my left, his name was Jeff, and he was actually the one that spoke up the most to make sure that the auctioneer split it out for me. Real friendly guy and very helpful. And he also transports cattle and livestock. And so you'll find those guys around, and that worked out great for me. So he loaded them up and delivered them for me and got them out to our place. And so Tuesday night, that was it. We're in the cattle business, baby. Yeah. I have wore the cowboy hat a little bit, but now it's new and I'm afraid to get it dirty. What a greenhorn. Anyway, so that's what's happening. And then in this week, I mean, just like you got to feed them every day. So so that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I went and bought grain, did buy corn. These cows want some corn. And that's the way my dad finished them. Eventually I will go to just as, much grazing as I possibly can on pasture. That's a little bit further down the road, but for this group, we'll raise them like my dad did and, learn how to do that. And I had to learn how to run the grinder, the mixer, to put everything together, had to go to get the protein components from the co-op, had to get the corn from a neighbor, my friend Todd Lewis, just up the road. It sold me 160 bushels of corn. And so it was all just a learning experience. And we were able to mix some of our best hay into that feed as well. So it just smells really good, and they love it. They love it. Those cows just love it. And so why wouldn't they? It's like sugar, man. They love sugar. Who doesn't? What kids don't like sugar? So it's just fantastic. I'm just really happy and busy with it. So I rented a jackhammer because I needed to improve some fence posts in the feedlot and punch holes through the floor of the feedlot and dig out, and just a whole lot of labor involved with that. And since I had that, I also punched in holes and dug out, holes in the ground so I could put my piers in for my chicken house, which is going to be unnecessarily decorative. And that project is now well underway and happening, this week, in fact. So concrete for that, both of those little tiny projects as well. And then I had to punch a hole, like a 30 square foot hole in the floor of my son's basement so that I could rearrange where the toilet is so that we could, add a bathroom shower, get things in the right spot and all of that other stuff. And that was a labor of love because that was me by myself. This is all mostly me by myself, except for finalizing, finishing the fence stuff that we did this weekend. Colin helped me out with that, so I'm glad he was there. But the jackhammering and hauling the concrete out in 5-gallon buckets and chunks and stuff, just got my workout in. Got my workout in this week for sure, and it's been great. It's been a wonderful, hardworking, you gotta love labor type of week. And I do. You feel like you've accomplished something. You can look on what you've made. And I have found that if you take your time and do things right the first time, you'll be much happier if you rush through any project. And so it's been that kind of a week. It's been hot. It's been rainy. And then it's been blasted heat, sun, wind as well, and all of that. It doesn't matter. You got to go feed the cows, take care of the chickens, make sure the cat's okay, deal with the dog, the farm at Sunnyside is growing. And I wasn't sure exactly how my wife Heidi was going to respond to all of the cows and all of that stuff, but she's come around pretty quick to the cows. And I mean, they are good looking cows. What can I say? They win you over. And so I'm pretty happy with all that, and the families too. And our son Jack, he's really into it. Like he thinks that maybe is what he wants to do. And I'm like, well, listen, I just started. Make sure that I better do this right so that I can at least teach you, some things, or we can learn how to do some of this stuff together. So that's a real blessing as well. And so that's the life on the farm, and it just continues to grow and work with our hands. And I've got to this week also we're going to get some more rain, and so that's good because I can hop in the sawmill, and I've got the sawmill going again, and board out some ash planks to do some of these fences in the feedlot that I want to redo, and all of that stuff. So I'm going to be running through hopefully a lot of logs this week when it's raining, and that is a great place to be when it's raining. You can throw the big door open so you can get the logs in and out, leave the door open, and it's just raining out there, and you're just making sawdust inside. That's a pretty good feeling too. So all of that. I built that a couple of years ago now, or 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even know how long it's been, but it's been a real blessing as well. So lots of things going on there, lots of things there. But hey, that's not even the news, is it? Look, can you feel how peaceful things are now? It's so peaceful. The peace is breaking out all over the world. This is peace through strength. We have now shown the world that this is the most peaceful that the world has ever been and will ever be. Peace is exactly, this is how you get peace, is you just, bomb the hell out of another country that is a terrorist sponsored country. There are a bunch of nefarious turds over there in Iran, at least not the people so much, but certainly the people in charge over there. And according to the best resources in intelligence, at least Israeli intelligence, and they're not, biased, or they don't have a dog in this fight at all. Trump absolutely decided that it was the best thing to finally do. And I think at the urging of Netanyahu, who seems to me like, ever have a friend or buddy, coworker, seems to always be the one that is the first to instigate a fight, get in a fight at a bar, for example, and knows full well that they can do that because there's a bigger fighter than they are right behind them, and that will back them up out of just sheer loyalty and friendship and all of those other good reasons. And that's kind of how I feel sometimes about Israel. I know they can hold their own. They had quite an Air Force victory in the last week or two as they really just controlled the skies over Iran. That was probably the deal that was made somewhere in advance between the two countries, ours and Israel, that, we'll probably use the Moab for you, but you're going to have to clear the airspace because we're not taking any risks and losing any people for this little situation. So they did. Israel went ahead and, owned the airspace. And look, they're very effective. I'm always impressed with the Israeli military. And they have to be because they have a lot of enemies. And there's other people in that region, say like the Saudis, and maybe some other folks around that are not too bothered by the fact that Iran doesn't maybe have the power to generate nuclear weapons. Or maybe they do. I don't know if they accomplished a darn thing. We'll find out. We'll find out if peace through strength in this regard, if this truly is the best peace through strength that there ever was or ever will be in the typical puffery of today's political landscape. It's annoying to me, to be honest. When it happened on Saturday night, I was watching it just like maybe you were on the Twitter feed or the X feed or the Facebook or the news or whatever it was. And I was just irritated, like annoyed. I feel like we were put up to it. And I feel like we bowed to Israel to do it. And I don't think we needed to do it, but we did it. So now what? So now we've shown the world that we are willing to take these steps and bomb stuff. And maybe it does work. Maybe it does. I'm just doubtful. I just don't think it will. I don't see a lot of, I guess I just don't see a lot of historical evidence that the mullah types are particularly interested in giving up. And now it seems that they probably feel like, see, I told you so. This is, America is the great Satan. You can't operate like that. I mean, if that's how they feel about us, they're obviously knuckleheads. We're not the great Satan, but, we do a lot of good things. I just don't think that we needed to do it. We just don't think we needed to do it. I don't think we needed to do it. And I know that there's a lot of, diehard Trump supporters and everything like that. And I voted for Trump and I supported Trump and I support a lot of things that he does. But I think in this case, he got played. And I don't think it makes us look as enormous as we think we are. But you won't find anybody in the administration that will say that. Tulsi Gabbard a few months ago said that there wasn't any evidence, but since that time she said, "Oh no, we're aware of that too. It's all probably coming from Israel." And like I said, they're not biased whatsoever. There was a situation though. Peace is breaking out, right? Anyway, that's why I just had to say that. Tongue in cheek. Peace is breaking out all over the place. We'll see. It just seems to go, it's perfect. It's like dropping Moab bombs or whatever, bunker busters that we have the ability to do that. It just seems to go hand in hand with whatever else we're doing lately, throwing out the National Guard and doing all these other cool things, making sure that people, are safe. Now we're making sure that the world is safe, and it's all about safety. It's like we're the giant worldwide TSA. And I guess, if there's anybody else, any other type of weapon in any other country we don't like, now they know. And we'll be the ones that decide in the world what type of, things sovereign nations can or cannot have. Plain and simple. That's how it rolls. We decide. Because that's how America was founded. We started this country with the understanding that we would be able to tell everybody else in the world what's what. And it works. It works pretty good. Peace through strength. And so, I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down there. I'm just, I don't know, not as keen on the whole thing as maybe I should be. There was an interesting conversation. I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't watch a lot of Tucker Carlson. I find the way that he asks questions and his facial expressions to be very weird. I think it's like I don't know. Toddler-esque seems weird. It's just so. That aside, that's why I don't watch him. If maybe you don't listen much to my shows because you found things that I say or the delivery of my voice, whatever it happens to be, maybe that's irritating to you and you shouldn't listen. And that's kind of how I feel about Tucker. I don't think he's wrong on everything. I don't think he's right on everything. I think he's an interesting person and he's free to do whatever the heck he wants. There are some people, say like Ben Shapiro, who is not at all in Israel's pocket. Like he is typically very much against what Israel is doing, and he has no vested interest whatsoever in Israel. But a lot of times he attempts to sharpshoot people quite a bit, and he does a pretty good job. I mean, he's a lawyer, I don't know if you ever practiced, but I mean, he's a good lawyer, I assume, and smart, went to Harvard, and obviously Harvard's amazing. There's nothing wrong with that institution. And so he, this past week or two particularly, he has just been vehemently criticizing anybody that doubts Israel's motives whatsoever. And so on the Tucker Carlson show, apparently Ted Cruz, who I thought at one point that he might make a good Supreme Court justice, to be honest with you. He's a pretty good litigator. He's argued in front of the Supreme Court many, many times. But he surprised me. Ted Cruz surprised me. They had an argument. Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz got into a bit of a tete-a-tete about Israel. And Ted Cruz's explanation of why he is an ardent supporter of Israel as a nation state, and that was rooted in, he said, in his understanding of the Bible as a Christian. And so Tucker, it was kind of ridiculous how he went about it. His delivery is so irritating. Like, I don't even. But he had a point, and Tucker's point was, how do you know that? Like, was that like we're quoting from Genesis about, if you're he who blesses Israel will be blessed, and so from Genesis chapter 12 or whatever, and so that's what they were talking about. Even though neither one could specify the chapter, which isn't that critical, but it was interesting. So you can kind of see, like, there is this evangelical concept that because, well, I'll just put it in my simple terms, because there's an Old Testament, that must mean that Israel and the nation of Israel is special, and that we must view Israel today and since 1948 as this, well, like Canaan, it's the Holy Land, which it is. I'm not denying that, but I don't think that the modern government, and this was what Tucker Carlson's point was, is that the modern government of Israel since 1948, that nation state, is not the Israel that is talked about in the Bible. And he's right. That is the historical place where the Hebrews, had their kingdom, and but then they left, and then they came back, and they left, and they had myriad examples in the Old Testament. And I only know this because I read the whole Bible to anyone who wanted to listen to it last year, and the Bible in a year. And there were so many Israel, the Jews, the Hebrews, the people weren't selected by God because they were the best people or special people. They were made special and select by God to carry the purpose of a plan that he had in place. It wasn't anything that they did, but they answered the call, and they, and for generations, millennia, perpetuated the Jewish faith, and which was always pointing toward a Messiah. And then you turn the page, and you come into the New Testament, and we learn all about Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus the Christ, the Messiah. And we accept Jesus as God incarnate, who paid the ultimate price out of love so that people can be saved. And this was offered first to the Jewish people. Jesus was Jewish and lived in Israel and delivered his messages in and around Israel and the people of the Jewish faith, who many followed him, and many rejected him. Most rejected him, and so did, after the crucifixion and the resurrection. And even before that, he extended the opportunity to Gentiles. Then Paul explains that we can be grafted in. So if you're not Jewish, you can be grafted into the Jewish faith in the establishment, the promise, the covenant with Israel, that we would have, that we could be grafted into that, and we could have that promise, just as Israel was promised, Isaac and Abraham, and on and on and on. And so since that time, since Jesus took care of that for us, we have had the opportunity to be grafted in to the full faith of the Messiah, which was 5,000 years of Hebrew tradition leading up to everything like that. And then, so that is Israel. That is the promise. Through Jesus Christ, that is That is Israel. So what does that look like? Well, it's the church. I mean, the worldwide, it's the church, and the bride of Christ is the body of the church, us. That's it. Like, we're Israel. We're grafted into that. Where it's our responsibility to know those 5,000 years of tradition. It's our duty to know how we got to that point from Genesis all the way to Revelation. It's our job to know that, and as faithful people. But because of that, as a Christian, and this is, I think, what Tucker was trying to say, he didn't necessarily enunciate it very well. I don't know if I'm doing a much better job. Ted Cruz believes, like a lot of evangelicals, that Israel is its own special thing, that it's protected by God. And the Jewish people certainly are, to some degree. I don't know. I don't know what God has in store for every person. But Christ was pretty clear how you come to know the Father, And so we have no obligation as Christians to the modern nation of Israel. No, none. And so I think Ted Cruz in this particular situation was wrong, but he was reflecting the Hagee-esque evangelical view of Israel's special place. And that's why, if you are a Christian Republican for the last century, or at least for the last 70 years, you very much need to keep you have to do whatever it takes to protect Israel. And I'll tell you something, Israel knows that, and you're getting played. And Donald Trump, I think, got played a little bit here. And that's what happens, I think, to a lot of people in this situation. I'm not saying that Israel and their dealings with Hamas, which is funded by Iran and the Iranian enemy that they have in that region, and not just with Israel, but many of Israel's neighbors who are also Muslim, that's a huge problem. So the way they're handling it, I don't have a big issue with it. That's their military. They can do what they want. We just don't need to be a part of it. Like, they can do it on their own. The fact that we get this whole permission thing, this weird permission relationship that we allegedly have with Israel, seems dirty to me. It seems dirty on the fact that it's like they're letting, how you say in the military, for example, NCOs are notorious for letting officers think that it was their idea so that things can get done. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening to some degree with the United States and Israel. I think Israel lets us think that it's our idea, and it's a great idea. It's a brilliant idea. I can't believe it's such a brilliant idea. It's just such an amazing, brilliant idea. And that's probably what it is. I don't know. Maybe that's how you get peace all over the place, I guess. And so I just wanted to make that clarification. All right. I appreciate the Israeli military and their intelligence services. It doesn't mean I trust them implicitly. And just because that's the first part of the Bible, those first 39 books are, the history in that regard of the Jewish faith to some degree, as we know it. That when I'm grafted into that faith through Christ as a Christian to be like Christ, that doesn't mean that the modern state of Israel is always right or honest or always up to only good things. Now, Ben Shapiro would disagree with that, and he's really smart. And so he's probably, he's probably accurate. And also, he probably doesn't listen to my show, so I'm not too worried about it. But I feel like he also, I do say, and this, like, just the fact that I said those things would make me seem like he would call me anti-Semitic, which is ridiculous, because I'm not. But you have to. I look at a nation state like Israel, like any other nation state in the world. It's made up of people that have their common interests. They created a country. Voila. Defend that country. Do whatever you need to do. Blah 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 blah. And countries do what they want to do for their own interest. That's what MAGA is all about. Making America great again, and America first is about dealing with our interests first in this country. And I just feel like that isn't Iran. Now, Trump's been the whole time, like for decades, he's like, they can't have a nuclear weapon. And the reason is because they would break our record. The general belief is they would break our record as the only people that have used the nuclear weapon, is what it boils down to. And we can't have that. And so, not that I think that they would, or they wouldn't. I don't know. I can't predict the future. But there are so many people in the intelligence community that are just chomping at the bit that we did this. And it was such a great thing. And the bad guys are always the bad guys, and they always are the bad guys. There's no question about it. Israel's always the good guys. Iran's always the bad guy. And I'm not even doubting that. And I love America. I feel like, you know what? I guess we do have the biggest bombs. And that's a good thing, I guess. What am I trying to say? I don't know. The world anymore, sometimes it just makes me go, oh, man, what were we thinking? I don't trust people that are rah-rah enthusiastic about our military action in this last week. I don't trust them. One, I don't trust them because I don't know if they even know what the heck they're talking about, or the price that can be incurred if this ends up going another direction. Because those people that are the most rah-rah are never the people, in my experience, that ever have to do anything in that regard. So they're just rah-rah, America, put on my American swimsuit, 4th of July. And it's like, there could be consequences. And we'll do a great job. Brothers and sisters in arms, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, they'll do a great job, whatever the nation asks of it, whatever it happens to be. And I hope it doesn't come to that. But things like this, sometimes they get people all ginned up and fired up, and it doesn't have that effect on me. That's not how I felt on Saturday night. And I feel pretty good about this week, though. And I feel pretty good about working with my hands, living in a country where I'm free to buy the materials that I want to do, what I want to buy, and I'm able to build the things that I want to do and start a business. And at this point in my life, in the mid-century mark, to be able to start my journey, my epic journey in becoming a cattle baron. Because it's the greatest country in the world, and you can do that, and I love it. And so I'm looking forward to this week of working with my hands and doing more things to improve the land and improve our acreage and our little farm. But most importantly, keeping the nose in the Word, having a skeptical view of the feed from whatever news source I'm getting, whatever news source you're getting. And just being, hopefully as thoughtful as we possibly can about what it is that we are actually doing and how we're doing it. And that's all we can do. That's what we do. There's an old saying in politics and maybe elections. It is this: if you have two, candidates running, or maybe you have multiple candidates running for the same office, they all have horns, horns like devil horns. They all have horns. You just have to vote for the one with the smallest horns. And, I think that's what we have done. I think that's what we're heading in a good direction, potentially. And I hope that it does lead to peace. And I hope that the strength that we exhibited results in a world that is aware that, at least in this particular point in time, in this particular 3.5 years of an administration remaining, that peace through strength is the adage that they intend to follow through with. And in the meantime, I hope that the economy skyrockets. I hope that the changes to the tariffs policy and the deals that we're making, that those things do pay off. And I hope that people do see a little bit better life, although this is the best that it's ever been in history. In the world history, this is the best life that anybody has lived. So it's pretty amazing that we can still even complain about it. And most people don't even know how to do any gardening or farming or raising their own food or where it even comes from. So I feel blessed that I get to at least experience that as well. So with all that, I just wanted to share the good news that we have cows, that you can buy them. You don't have to, I'll get into details of what that's going to look like. It's going to be a while. It'll be perfectly timed. I feel like March of this coming year, March, so that you'll have everything in your freezer ready to go when it's time for grilling and steaks and burgers and all that good stuff. So, you can be a part of that, and we'll talk more about all of that stuff. The cattle baron continues, but he has doubts. He has some doubts about our peace breaking out all over the place. And the sound of peace breaking out sounds like a 30,000-pound bomb. Or 4. Oh, I hope you have a great week. It's a short show. I'm recording this late on a Sunday night. Kind of worked on the Lord's Day more than I should have, and I just want to put it to bed. So I hope you have a great week, and I hope that you do get a chance to go out and spend time with your family and your friends. Enjoy the summer. The days are starting to get just ever so slightly shorter, and I hope that you do work with your hands, make an impact, and, of course, be the sunny side of someone else's life.
When the shadows fall and doubts begin to creep, remember together we're strong, never weak. Lift your neighbor up with kindness every day. Let your actions speak the words you want to say.
The Sunny Side of Life is a weekly production about our life on the family farmstead here in Iowa, the liberties we prize, and the pursuits which make us happy. None of this is possible, of course, without Christ in our lives. For the Lord God is our sun and our shield. He gives us grace and glory.
Be the sunny side of someone else's life. Share your light and joy through struggle and strife. Keep your heart open and your soul always bright. Together we will share this sunny side life. Be the sunny side of someone else's life. Share your light and joy through struggle and strife. Keep your heart open and your soul always bright. Together we will share this sunny side life.
May the Lord bless you and keep you, and may the sunny side of your life in Christ be made evident unto you each and every day, and give you peace.